Welcome back students to another session of chapter 14 Natural Resources. In the last lecture we studied what is biochemical cycle and we studied two biochemical cycles, that is water cycle and nitrogen cycle. Now in this lecture we are going to study other biochemical cycles. So let us start with our lecture. So students, let us study oxygen cycle. Oxygen exists in two different forms in nature, free form and combined form. We know that 21% of oxygen gas is present in the atmosphere and it is available from the atmosphere in free form. And in the combined form, oxygen is obtained in the form of oxides of metals and non-metals from the earth crust, water and atmosphere. It is also present in carbohydrates, fats, proteins, etc. Now let us see how proportion of oxygen is maintained through a proper cycle. Oxygen from the atmosphere is used up in three processes. First one combustion, second respiration and third in the formation of oxides of nitrogen. First one combustion. During burning process, that is during the process of combustion, oxygen is required, so it is obtained from the atmosphere. Next is respiration. We know that for respiration oxygen is required, which is obtained from the atmosphere. And third, in the formation of oxides of nitrogen. We studied in the nitrogen cycle that oxides of nitrogen are formed by nitrogen fixation and nitrification, and for that process oxygen is used from the atmosphere. So this way oxygen is used by these three processes, or you can say through these three processes from the atmosphere. And there is only one process through which this oxygen is returned in the atmosphere, that is by the process of photosynthesis, which is done by the plants. During the process of photosynthesis, plants release oxygen to the atmosphere, and this way the oxygen cycle is maintained. Now let us see oxygen cycle in detail. Oxygen is a very abundant element on our earth. It is found in the elemental form in the atmosphere to the extent of 21%, that is obtained in the free form. It also occurs extensively in combined form in earth crust as well as also in the air in the form of carbon dioxide. In the earth crust it is found as the oxides of most elements and silicon, and also as carbonates, sulfate, nitrate and other minerals. So this is compound form of oxygen. So we can say that oxygen is available in two form, free form and compound form. It is also an essential component of most biological molecules like carbohydrates, proteins, nucleic acids, fats or lipids. But when we talk of oxygen cycle, we are mainly referring to the cycle that maintains the level of oxygen in the atmosphere. So the oxygen cycle is the cycle that maintains the level of oxygen in the atmosphere. Oxygen from the atmosphere is used up by three processes, that is combustion, respiration and in the formation of oxides of nitrogen. We discussed earlier all these three processes, right? Now oxygen is returned to the atmosphere in only one major process, that is photosynthesis. That is, during the process of photosynthesis, plants use carbon dioxide and release oxygen. And this way it enters in the atmosphere. And this forms the broad outline of oxygen cycle in nature. So students, this was oxygen cycle. Now students, the next cycle which we are going to study is carbon cycle. Carbon also exists in two forms in nature, free form and combined form. It occurs in the form of diamond and graphite as free form, and in the combined form it occurs as carbon dioxide, carbonates and salts of various minerals. It is also present in proteins, carbohydrates, fats, etc. So this way carbon is obtained in two forms in nature. Now let us see carbon cycle. We all know that plants use carbon dioxide from the atmosphere during the process of photosynthesis and produce carbohydrates, or you can say glucose. Now these carbohydrates are used up by living organisms. If plants and animals are submerged under the earth crust, fossil fuels are formed, and these fossil fuels are used for the process of combustion. So this way carbon dioxide from the atmosphere is used by living organisms. Now let us see how it is released back to the atmosphere. During the process of respiration, the living organisms release carbon dioxide which enters in the atmosphere. During the combustion of fuel, or you can say by the burning of the fuel, carbon dioxide is released in the atmosphere. If plants and animals are decomposed after dying, they release carbon back to the atmosphere by the process of decomposition. And this way carbon dioxide is released back in the atmosphere, and the cycle representing the balance of carbon in the nature is called carbon cycle. Students, if you are asked to draw carbon cycle, you can draw this diagram. Now let us see carbon cycle in detail. Carbon exists in two different forms in nature, free form and combined form. Free form, it occurs in the elemental form as diamond and graphite. Combined form, it occurs as carbon dioxide, carbonates and hydrogen carbonate, salts in various minerals. It is also present in proteins, carbohydrates, fats, nucleic acids and vitamins. Now carbon cycle. Carbon dioxide present in the nature is used up by plants during the process of photosynthesis to form glucose and carbohydrates. Carbon dioxide dissolves in water to form carbonates which form limestone, and this limestone is used by human beings for various purposes. Plants contain carbon in the form of glucose, carbohydrates which is eaten up by other animals. Plants and animals can form petroleum if they are submerged, that is buried under the earth, and plants can form coal. So if only plants are submerged or buried, coal is formed, and if plants and animals both are buried together, petroleum is obtained. But if they get decomposed after dying, they release carbon back to the atmosphere by decomposition. So if they are dead, they release the carbon through decomposition, and if they are alive, they release the carbon in the atmosphere through the process of respiration in the form of carbon dioxide. During the burning of the fuel also, carbon dioxide is released in the atmosphere. You can add this point also over here. So this was carbon cycle. The next topic is greenhouse effect. Now students, you know that so many types of radiations are coming from the sun towards the earth. From this, some of the rays are absorbed and some are reflected back from the earth's surface. The rays which are reflected back passes through the atmosphere while going back to the space. In our atmosphere, carbon dioxide is there along with other gases. The property of this carbon dioxide gas is to trap heat rays, which are also known as infrared rays. Because of this, heat rays, that is infrared rays, are not able to go back to the space and they are trapped in our atmosphere, and this effect is known as greenhouse effect. This effect is very much necessary. Why? Because to maintain the temperature of the earth's surface. Otherwise, what would have happened during daytime when the sun rays are falling on the earth? At that time the earth would be warm, and when sun rays are not falling, the temperature will decrease drastically. But this is not happening. The temperature, day and night temperature, is maintained on the surface of the earth because these heat rays are trapped by carbon dioxide and other gases in the atmosphere. So this greenhouse effect is very much necessary. If this effect would not have taken place, then human beings would not be able to survive due to vast difference in day and night temperature. And this is one of the reasons that life is possible on earth, because its atmosphere contains carbon dioxide which many planets are not having. But excess of greenhouse effect will lead to global warming, which we are experiencing nowadays. Why it is happening? Because our atmosphere contained 0.03% of carbon dioxide, which was sufficient enough to trap the heat rays which are necessary to maintain the day and night temperature on the earth crust. But due to pollution and many other effects, proportion of carbon dioxide has increased in the atmosphere, which is leading to excess global warming. excess greenhouse effect, and due to which global warming is occurring and the temperature of earth is increasing day by day. So greenhouse effect is very much necessary, but excess of greenhouse effect is harmful. Greenhouse effect. When sun rays falls on the surface of the earth, some are absorbed and some are reflected back. While traveling back to the space, they have to pass through the atmosphere. In the atmosphere, heat rays, which are also known as infrared rays, are trapped by the carbon dioxide, and this effect is known as greenhouse effect. This effect is necessary to maintain the temperature of the earth, but excess of greenhouse effects leads to global warming, which is very harmful. In cold countries where temperature is low and vegetation does not grow, heat is trapped by a glass enclosure which allows the heat radiations to enter into the glass, but they cannot escape out of the glass, and these enclosures where plants grow are called greenhouses. Now students, let us move to the last topic of our chapter, that is ozone. You know that ozone layer protects us from harmful ultraviolet radiation. Now let us study in detail about this ozone. Ozone contains 3 molecules of oxygen and its formula is O3. It protects us from harmful ultraviolet radiations by not allowing ultraviolet radiations to enter the Earth's surface. Now this ozone layer is getting depleted due to certain elements in the atmosphere like CFC, that is chlorofluorocarbon, and other halogens which are released in the atmosphere by human activities. If this depletion continues, then ultraviolet radiation could easily enter into the Earth's surface and they will cause ionizing effect which will lead to cancer, genetic disorder, skin diseases, etc. You can see in the diagram that if the ozone layer is getting more and more depleted, then ultraviolet radiations could easily enter the surface of the Earth. The CFC is released in the atmosphere by refrigerants, or you can say that by fire suspension system in the aircrafts, etc. What this CFC or other halogens will do, they will react with ozone and they will split it, because of which formation of big hole will be created, and this is known as ozone hole. One of such depletion of ozone is seen at South Pole near Antarctica. So depletion of ozone layer or the formation of ozone hole is a point of concern, because if it continues, it will lead to harmful effect for living organisms. So ozone is a molecule of oxygen with 3 atoms of oxygen, that is its formula is O3. It covers the Earth's atmosphere and is present in the stratosphere. It does not allow the harmful ultraviolet radiations coming from the sun to enter our Earth. This ultraviolet radiations causes ionizing effect and cause cancer and genetic disorder in any life forms. The ozone is getting depleted at South Pole near Antarctica. The ozone depletion is due to halogens like CFC, that is chlorofluorocarbon, released in the air. Chlorine, fluorine reacts with ozone and splits it, thereby leading the formation of a big hole which is known as ozone hole. So students, this was about ozone, and with this we conclude our chapter. This chapter is very important. 4-mark question is surely expected from this chapter, so prepare it well.